5, 16, 19, 21, 30, 3 and 10. Check results. You remember?
61 passes today. Keeps the doctor away. 61 days in a row. I know. Cool. We do this daily. And here's another day. What to talk about today, man? Really lackluster one yesterday. I was like half listening back. To be honest, I haven't really listened to these back. Why would I? It sort of seems like a sad existence. Just I guess if I was doing something else, like if I was nothing to listen to, because I'm not like a music person every time. I like podcasts and stuff. Music, I don't know, sometimes you gotta be in the right mood for it. Sometimes you gotta, if you're doing something you really don't want to be doing, sometimes music helps a lot because it can just kind of help you. You will start singing along and all of a sudden you're in a different place. Dog's acting feral. You can get up here, don't tell anyone because they're gonna think I'm gross letting you sit on the bed, but if it's what you need, you can get up there, son. There you go. So yeah, I don't listen to these back. I did at the beginning, but just to see sound this and that. And I listened to them all through. Now I kind of just trust myself enough to be like, okay, it's probably alright. And if it's bad, who cares? You do it every day. You can right your wrongs almost immediately. Like if you do one of these a week, it's like you got more time to make sure it's good, I guess. But you've also, if it's bad, you got like a week to try and redeem yourself. And also I'm kind of like, although 60 feels quite high. I remember I did one of these before. What was it called? Juice Box? No, it wasn't. The old voice memos. The voice memos pod. God, that takes me back. That was the first one I did. And I think I did that for about 80 or 90 eps. And that was probably about every week. Kind of sporadic though. Sometimes every 2 weeks, but more or less every week. And that was only on the same level of this. So it's like, didn't really seem worth it. And what I'm trying to say is that was 90, but it was over a week. It felt like that's quite a high number. To me, 60 seems pretty, it's not too far from 90, which was what I hit last time. But it feels still so early. Like this feels still so much like the foundations, like the beginning part, that it's like, this is allowed to be bad. Like I feel like obviously in future I'd want to be like set up in like an actual better sort of scenario, like with a cool-ish sort of vibe, not like background necessarily, but just like a cool set, like just for it to look cooler first of all, and build in some segments and stuff, make it a more formatted thing, more clear idea of what's going on here. But at the moment this is all like, you're early. If you listen to this now, you're early, because I'm gonna keep going, man. I feel like I don't know when I'll stop doing this. I want to at least get to a year of doing it non-stop, 365 days. But so we've got about 300 more to go on Verizon, because I'm on like literally 61 now. So we've got a long way to go till then. But yeah, I mean, I remember recently I've been talking about people individually, specifically, in like recent ones. I remember talking about True Geordie recently, Theo Von, people like this, and I just feel like in general, today I'm going to talk about white people, like a sort of category, and I think they're, and I'm speaking specifically from sort of through the keyhole of podcasts and interviews and sort of celebrities and that culture, not the world all of us exist in, which is just normal civilization, just as the normies, the sort of NPCs walking around, but on these people who are on this sort of celebrity, higher status thing, who we sort of look through like a glass window at like zoo animals and stuff, looking into that world and podcasts specifically. I feel like white people, maybe I want to give them some flowers today, I want to give them some flowers, because, as we know, white people get a bit of a bad rap, and we know why. They've got a muddy history. Let's just say that. They've done some things, and even current day, they do some things. You see it with like sort of police stuff, and sort of back in the day, slavery, that whole Hitler thing. It's not a good look. Stuff like that. And also all the modern days things they keep doing. People like Trump. It doesn't help your image. And even to like, what was it today? I read a tweet. It was like some woman, she tweeted, today was a sad day. She wrote it like it was some novel or something. She was like the wow words, if you remember that from school, was just like off the charts. Like, she was just like, yeah, today was a sad day because today I looked my daughter in her eyes, and it was in that moment, I saw that she had realized that no matter what grade she got, she would not probably not get into her university of choice because she's white. And that was a serious tweet from some random white woman. I don't know. I don't know why she's saying that. I don't know if that's maybe because universities and stuff like that, they're actively looking to accept a more like diverse group of people, like extra ethnicities, therefore less white people get in because they want it to look better across the board, whether that's because of it looks better for their image or that's just because like a new sort of like guidelines they have to follow now. I don't know, like I don't know why she said that. But just sort of read the room, sort of weird shit to say. Odd. Like, and it's kind of like that doesn't, like Karens in general, these kind of people. This woman on Twitter, she tweeted that out, and I was kind of just like, yeah, I don't know why you've tweeted that. And also, you're just, I can pretty much guarantee you, if your 16-year-old daughter, just come back to me in 2 years. I'm pretty sure if she gets straight A's, she'll probably go into her uni of choice. And if she gets straight A's and she doesn't get into whatever high-profile uni this might be, it's probably because maybe they searched her Twitter and found her in blackface multiple times and thought it wouldn't be a good look. But I don't know why that's came out of nowhere. It's kind of just like you're flip reversing. I don't know what it'd be like. I just sat here trying to think about it for 10 minutes. I had a really good anecdote earlier. I don't remember it now. But either way, they get a bad rap. But I actually do think, in some things like podcasts, I was watching, what's his name? Caleb Presley's. He's a Barstool guy. He has his Sunday conversations thing where he sort of, it's like 4 or 5 minutes. And it's just basically him asking quick fire questions. It is meant to be funny. It's just a funny little thing. It's an icebreaker of a pod. And I just think, if we're talking, it feels like some people, especially in like maybe rap or something, taking yourself very seriously, because just of, rap, what it is, what it was built on, the people who came before you, the people you're surrounded by, the place you grew up in, whatever, and you just take yourself very seriously in it. And like, sometimes you want insight, ultimately, whether you listen to a 5-minute funny podcast or a whole hour long, whatever it is, you're going to a podcast because you want insight. You want insight into the person maybe they're interviewing or whatever. You just want to know something about them or about what they do, behind the scenes stuff. And I feel like some people really push the whole like, it's like a check. If I can get them to cry on my episode, there we go. Ding, mission accomplished. To get that insight, it's all about asking those hard-hitting questions and forcing them home and pushing people into corners, not letting them worm their way out or whatever. But it's like, within like a 5-minute span, you can sort of talk to someone, make them comfortable, and ultimately laugh. Because like laughing, bridging that gap, it's like you can't help but be yourself when you're laughing. It's like it's sort of a involuntary thing. You can't help it. If you find something funny, you'll just laugh. And I feel like in podcasts in general, or sort of YouTube content or whatever, you see it, there's many examples, but just like, I feel like white people have in this space, I'm not talking generally because it's just sort of, you can't really speak generally about that type of thing, but there's a lot of personalities who sort of have this sort of goofy energy, or just sort of weird, just the personality type with their humor. And maybe it's not one that like rappers or like celebrities would want to adopt themselves because they need to be like respected, or they take themselves very seriously, or like it's just not the look, or it's just not who they are, or whatever it is. But they just feel like sometimes they can't have a laugh. But then you're put in a scenario with like these people. I was watching that one, like this, and I don't even really watch that like show really, but I was like, I binged for a couple of to see what it was all about. And then like just to see a different side of people, you're like, okay, that they are, yes, a celebrity, but they literally, of course, was before that like everyone else, and they became it. Because you kind of forget, celebrities, most of them became celebrities. So like for the most part, they shit and fart. Not that normal celebrities don't, but it's all the same, really. They shit, they fart. They probably tried to close the fridge, really, like the door just an inch just before the light goes off to see if they could see it. Turn the microwave on, run around the house, so many things they can get done before it dings. Just random shit. Like, I can't even think. Just anything you've done, they do or have done. And Drake is someone notoriously who I've always just kind of felt, this guy's annoying. Don't really know why. Makes good music, but I just feel like him as a person, I don't know what sort of the persona he sort of has or wears or like puts on. And yeah, you get that kind of through some of the lyrics and music, but also just through like things you hear basically on Twitter. And then probably you get asked about those things in short form interviews and you give certain responses that then get clipped up and you just think, ugh. But then when I saw his Sunday Conversations thing, I thought, you know what? Why do I have this thing in my head where I feel like Drake's annoying? I don't know Drake, and a 5-minute interview doesn't mean I now do know him, but it just makes me realize you have no reason to find these people randomly sometimes just like annoying out of nowhere. Now, there is still people I don't know who I still find annoying. Elon Musk, I still find annoying. I don't know him, but there's a lot of people who you ask me, what do you think about them? And in the back of my mind, I'll think, I don't really like them. But then when I think my reasons why, it's just like things you assume or things you see. But then when they're set down in a relaxed environment, you're like, oh, they're laughing at dumb things. They're being normal. They are just normal. And I do feel like a lot of particular podcast people can sort of naturally bring that out of people. So fair play for that. Obviously, the sort of the racism, which a lot of people, haven't been a big fan of. The slavery all those years ago. People didn't really like that, I hear. Sort of the police sort of brutality, is that, yeah, all that stuff, sort of just, yeah, people didn't like that, but I'll give you your shine, because I feel like everyone deserves their shine. Asian people probably deserve a little bit more shine. Where's their love? It kind of feels like they're the forgotten. They're the middle child. They're out there. They're doing their thing. So love where it's due. Love where it's due. I've been listening to. I mentioned it a couple of days ago. Theo Von, kind of been jumping on that, listening to a few of his pods, and I don't know where these people find their news, man. I said this before. I don't know where they're getting their news. I don't know where they find it. I need it. Sometimes they just bring up random things that have happened. I don't see nothing like that. The only bit of news I've genuinely seen in the past few days is like real news that you don't actually want to be talking about. Some woman found dead in lake after went missing. Oh yeah, I'll bring that up. That'll be great topic of conversation. Just nothing good. Like he spoke about this thing, how like apparently Miami wanted to like trial. Was it Miami? Somewhere in America wanted to trial using this like vacant island they had to like sort of build it up a little bit and then just chuck all the homeless people in Miami onto that island and just sort of be, you live there now. We put you here. And it was like, oh, that's interesting. It's kind of like, oh yeah, we're doing this a good thing. We're like, oh, we'll round up all these homeless people and we'll chuck them into homes and it's on homeless island. But it's also like, oh, we're sort of like clearing out the trash. Like they get houses and we get rid of them, type thing. And I don't know if the laws will be different on the island than to normal land. I don't know if they have to work there, if they get them houses for free. Can you be homeless on homeless island? It kind of just feels like, oh, fuck, it feels like it came from a place of, oh, we don't like seeing them about. Should we just sort of ferry them off to an island? I don't think I'd want to live on it. It feels like it feels like it's going to turn into North Korea 2.0. You go there, you don't come back. You don't really know what's going on over there. It's like this whole Kim Jong-un scenario. They think, because think about it, if you're like second generation homeless island citizen, you're thinking they're all gonna be like, obviously, what's the word? Procreate? That's a software, isn't it? Procreate. What's it? Recreate. What's it called? You know, creation. They're all gonna be having kids, getting off, right? So to all these homeless people living on this homeless island, now no longer homeless, having kids, right? And now they live on the homeless island, and it's just like everything they know. They think, oh God, we're like the best at sports in the world. We're like this and that. They probably don't. They probably think, oh, the world is like 2 miles across and only where we exist. And then they leave. We just create a whole little colony out there, little cult start. Then they get angry at sort of Planet of the Apes, and they rise up. You know, why we been exiled here? They fight back. We start a little civil war. It's like, where's that news? Why am I not getting that news put into my inbox? You know, I'd like to see that a little bit more, little good points of conversation. You know, instead I get, oh, double homicide, great. You know, oh, stabbed to death, brilliant. You know, where's the interest in? So what accounts you have to follow to get that kind of like, oh, they're thinking they might start, you know, planting chips in babies' brains, so when they're older they can, you know, that's kind of more I want to be seeing. Yeah. Like, I would say yesterday's one was probably a 3 out of 10. Today, improved, still not at my best. Gonna give it a 5.5 out of 10. That's fair. This was 61 on 62.
Here with the kids, and I've got 3 kids, and the geezer was probably on like maximum 20 bags a year. Like the most boring bloke you'll ever meet. Like,